Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live Show, where I, Sunita, along with my co-host Tracy from Miss Tracy Kessler, we hop on every Friday and talk about everything North Fork. Today we are featuring Chef Adam from Grace and Grit. If you haven't eaten there, you need to hurry up as soon as they open their pop-up menus for the off-season. They are a catering venue, or catering service I should say, that usually cater large events, probably small events as well, but in the off season they have a pop-up restaurant menu where you can do takeout, and they offer Indian food, ramen pop-up, a whole bunch of amazing delicious dishes, and we can't wait to chat with Chef Adam about what he creates and how we can get some. It is sweater weather, as you can see. I feel like I should be doing an SNL skit. It is finally fall. And I say finally because it's been so warm, even though I'm still hanging on to last dribs of summer. For those of you who watch me, I am daring to try to be a polar bear, which is a unique and interesting experience for me because I am not a cold weather girl. So I love it when there is sunshine. The easier it'll be to try to do it with the true polar bears that actually do it all winter long. Good morning, Tracy. How are you? Good morning. How are you?
I did not get the memo that it is sweater weather. I am still wearing short sleeves.
I'm actually a little warm in this, but it is sweater weather outside.
Well, let me tell you, because you know I have to come from my house out to the beach barn, and when I walked out of my house, I was like, oh, I'm not cold. But then again, who knows? My body temperature's all over the place these days.
Well, it's also gray and cloudy, and and also, I feel like we need to throw that phrase out there from SNL because it's just sweater weather.
Well,
sweater weather.
I will tell you, after the show, I'm getting back into my sweatpants and crawling into bed. Tilly is sick, homesick from school today, and I am just going to lay in bed and watch TV with her.
God, is this our first homesick day from school?
Yeah. Yesterday was the first day that the teachers called me to come pick her up because they said she was just crying, asking for mommy. She had snot bubbles coming out. So they said it's time to come pick her up. So I came and picked her up. So that was my first day of that. And today we're staying home and we're going to have a sick day. So, yeah.
Okay. I just want to shout out to Adam. I think this happened last week. I see your request to join, Adam, and I am hitting accept. But for some reason, you're not joining in. So I hope it's not a repeat of last week where we had two guests on and one was able to hop on and the other one, the entire 30 minutes, I just kept trying to get Ann on, but for some reason she couldn't log on.
I wonder, does it have to do with updating the app?
I did have both of them update that, but maybe Adam can try that.
Okay.
Adam, if you can try updating, because now it says you're unable to join. Try updating the Instagram app and then rejoining, or I will just keep trying to accept and see if it works.
In the meantime, I'm happy to talk about Adam.
There he is. Yay! Thank God.
I was going to talk about you, Adam.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And yourself?
I'm glad you were able to join because sometimes this tech really throws us off for a loop in the morning, especially it's too early.
Yes, our high tech production here.
All right, I want to dive right into the food. Tracy, you said you wanted to talk about Adam, or you're just going to let Adam talk about himself?
Well, Adam and I have a really long history, and this whole show is about supporting community, and Adam does that because when I started a North Fork affair, he and Jenny jumped right in, and when Jenny took a step back, Adam just continued the relationship, and we all through COVID, the three of us came up with ideas and we both kept our businesses running together, and it was, a constant collaboration, and we've both gotten really busy and haven't worked together in a while, but I know that if I need something, he will always step up.
Tracy, is this when you were doing like date night delivery menu and stuff? Oh my God, that was such a great
we started doing the farm to table dinners together, and we did stuff on Shelter Island together, and then during COVID we did the date nights, and we were always kind of brainstorming and collaborating, which is what we all love about the North Fork.
Awesome. That's all right, Adam. Tell us, how did you end up being a chef?
It's a not very long but almost interesting story. So grew up going out to dinner a lot. My mother did not cook. She was, as they say, very good at making reservations.
Interesting.
Grew up loving restaurant food. And then I went to art school and was a sculpture major for a while and realized then and there that, well, I really do that eating at restaurants for a very long time.
Wait, I'm losing Adam's audio. Are you, Sunita?
Yes, I am too. I don't know if someone calls you in between or if you get a message, it mutes you, but I don't know if that's what it was. But you're somehow muted, Adam.
Okay.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
You're back.
So I taught myself how to cook in art school and proceeded to design stuff for 20 years after that, between sunglasses and jewelry and
Oh, so actual product design. With your art school degree, you actually did product design.
oh yeah, I designed for 20 years.
Wow.
That explains, I must say, that explains a lot about how your plates look, because they really do look artistic. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, and then the last design gig I had, they decided to move all design to California and didn't invite any of the designers.
Got it.
So tried newer technology and just I've been in for so long that just wasn't. It's not how my brain works. I'm a very manual person, so I was doing everything by hand, and I was making dinner at a friend's house with a friend's product. So like I had deep roots, which is my go-to, and then still is, and then we were over at another friend's house, and Jenny was attended the dinner.
Wait, were you already on the North Fork?
Yeah. I've been on the North Fork for 20 years.
Oh, okay.
And I brought the food, and she was at dinner with her sister, and she was like, "Oh my God, who made this?" And I said, "I did." She asked me if I wanted a job, and that was I don't know, 8 years ago. So doing it at Grace and Grit for 8 years, and I bought out with Jenny's partner like 4.5 years ago.
And is Jenny still part of Grace and Grit, but just on the peripheral?
Yeah.
Okay.
Running the back end and all the business stuff, and I'm just running the the consumer side.
So tell us, what is Grace and Grit? Because I know you do catering and you have the pop-up. So can you just tell us, what does Grace and Grit do?
Sure. So mainly we do off-site catering. That is our bread and butter from May until now. Sometimes it goes a little later, sometimes a little earlier. Last week was our last wedding, but generally it's weddings at the vineyards or people's houses, and literally anywhere on the island. We've been all the way up to like Oyster Bay Cove and then some, and the last one was on Fire Island, and so forth. And so that's our day.
So is it mostly weddings, or do you, in the middle of the wedding season, also have time to do smaller events like home parties and birthdays and whatever people may want?
A ton of the smaller private chef dinners as well, especially in the middle of the summer. So like the wedding season is generally May, June, and then like September, October. So the middle of it, there's only a handful of weddings normally. So that gets filled in with people's barbecues and cocktail parties and private chef dinners, which I adore doing. It's just I get to focus more on the exact things and really customize it to that person, and we get to come up with the menu together. It's fun, that's more of a creative process.
But I do want to say, I hired Grace and Grit for my wedding in 2016, and a lot of times, to your point, Adam, that like when you're doing mass quantities, the exactness goes away, and I did not feel that. I mean, across the board, the food was amazing at my wedding. The food was plentiful, because that's always offsite catering. You're always kind of worried about if you're going to have enough. and it was fantastic. And I also want to say, from beginning to end, I felt like I was a VIP. The way I was treated in terms of, and I got the feeling that everyone was treated this way, from the tasting to the menu selection, everything. I just felt like the service, and as an event professional, I would hope this means a lot. You know, it was top notch from beginning to end.
So I just want to add something. You said tasting. So I guess since you do a lot of weddings, I'm assuming you offer tastings and stuff. Do you do that at the store you have in Southold?
That's that little storefront that we have in where we do takeout in the off season, but that's where we set up a tasting. Like I have one on Sunday coming up.
So if someone wants to do the catering, that's the process. They would get the tasting or try out the tasting at the store, and then you would cater offsite. And that's from May to November, basically.
We'll do them anytime. I from but sometimes it doesn't work out because of people's schedule. That it's a destination wedding for everybody, them included, and they're from elsewhere in the country, and they're like, "Well, we're coming in this week." Okay, well, but
okay, so when you're done with the busy season, then you're ready for the rest of us. So tell us about the rest of us and what can we expect?
Us local folk.
Pop-ups in November and a couple in December, and then we'll start the every week thing in January. You know, with a couple of exceptions when I'm away or whatever. But I'm definitely going to do Indian, and I don't know what I'm going to do for the other one yet.
So just to clarify, the way the pop-up works, it's not a restaurant. You can't just show up anytime and order, right? You have a schedule, you have a menu, and this is what's available, and everybody can come pick up.
So we post them online. We have online ordering, and you just go on our website and click it, and when you finish the order, it's done, and you select a time to pick it up, and it will be ready within. If it's not waiting there for you, it'll be ready within minutes. I'm very strict about my schedule, and it annoys me because I'm strict about it. So like, if somebody's 15, 20 minutes late, their food is essentially dying.
Right. Right.
Some of the food, some of the pop-ups hold up better than the others. Of course, they're more suited to sitting around, but most of them are not. Most of them are, designed to grab it and go home and eat.
Which is great because there's no fuss. I don't have to worry about how to reheat it or how is it going to stay the way you intended it to. So this is warm. Order it for the time you want to eat it. Basically, come pick it up, enjoy. Okay, got it. So that's with the pop-up. And you mentioned Indian, and what else are you planning for the pop-ups?
So, we always do at least one burger night. We do Thai, Vietnamese, Korean, Cuban, Cajun.
So Adam, since you've told us you're basically self-taught, and you just mentioned a whole slew of types of cuisine. So how are you, learning all of these different types of cuisine?
Well, a lot of them I had there in the respective places when I was designing sunglasses. So I know what it's actually supposed to taste like.
Yeah.
And I'm just lucky enough that I'm able to cobble together a replication.
So you must do a few trial runs and try out the recipe if you're ever looking for taste testers, right? Tracy, I think you might be able to make your schedule available.
Fine.
Okay, so then for a while you do pop-ups, so those are not every day. And then you mentioned you have an everyday menu that will kick off at some point?
No. In January, then the pop-ups just become regular every week, as opposed to...
I see. So there's something will be available every week. It's just what? Okay, got it.
Yeah, so Friday, Saturday, 4 to 8, every week.
Sure.
In
Starting in January. Okay. Now, don't you guys also have a hospitality business as well, right?
We also do staffing, which is great for our staff, which is why they like us so much, which is why they take such good care of our guests. So we try to keep them as busy as we possibly can. Most of them have full-time gigs as well, but they like, a little extra. And here's most of them. And, the new ones that we get, they generally stay for years. So they know how to do things, which is great in the sort of individual sense when we set them out to someplace, but they also know how we do things at a party. So like, with offsite catering, there's nothing set up. So they know like, cool, you get to the thing, we got to set up the tables, we got to set up the chairs, here's how it's going to look, here's the plan, blah, blah, blah. And it's like a well-oiled machine. So that cuts down on a lot of friction, and it just makes everything smoother across the board.
Well, and also I think that's important because a lot of people don't know that even if you're doing something at your own home and you're cooking yourself or whatever, that you can hire people to come help set, serve, clean so that you can enjoy the party yourself.
Like you said, just a server or somebody to clean up afterwards. And yeah, we have all those people that are ready, willing, and able.
That's awesome, Tracy. Sometimes even just having a bartender, or something to take some parts of the thing just makes your party enjoyable to yourself rather than, that's a great add-on. That's awesome. Good to know. And how does somebody go about booking that?
So they can, if they just go to info@graceandgridevents.com, they can do that. There is a separate page. It's hired hospitality. Probably info@hired hospitality, come to think of it. Yeah, so it's probably info@hired hospitality. That'll be a direct line. The other one is just one person in between.
And now, does Jenny also still own NOFO Roco? Yes.
Ooh, across the street.
Yeah. So then that's the coffee that we serve at all the events.
This is just turning into like a full service. You can have coffee in the morning. You can have lunch and dinner. You can have someone clean up after you when you're done. This is like a all day thing. I have to say, Tracy, do you remember when you did I think it was a chunky blanket class. I don't remember. It was 5-7 years ago, a long time ago. And Adam, you had provided some delicious nibbles and stuff. I think this was at Nicolette's. And you had sent over, and when people send stuff over, we get food, it's great. But you had made these beet pickled wasabi deviled eggs. Oh my God. They were, not only were they most delicious, because I've never eaten something like that, but the presentation with the color of the purple, and then you had chive flowers on it. I still dream about that dish. It was delicious. I think I popped so many deviled eggs while knitting the blanket. It was delicious. But that's what I meant by your artistic ability, and that love and that drive shows in every platter you put together.
I try to bring, some visual interest to everything, somewhere.
Yeah, and I mean, later I was looking up the recipe for the pickled eggs, and I had tried to make it a couple of times, obviously not the way you do, but it's a process. I mean, the boiled eggs have to sit in the beets, and it takes a day or two. Like, it's not just whip it together and put it on a plate.
Very little quick is, good.
Okay, that makes sense.
That does make sense. So, Adam, you mentioned that you've been on the North Fork for 20 years. What brought you to the North Fork?
So when I was able to buy a home with my ex, we realized we could go anywhere. My parents had a second home in Cutchogue, and was like, well, let's look out there. And we looked out here in Natatuck and found a lot more for our money at that point. And I got out here.
So you were out here before all the influx of us newbies came.
Yep. Yeah. Moved out when my son was not quite 1, and he's going to be 21 in March. So.
Wow. Time does go by. Okay, burning question I need to ask for all the viewers. Is there ever any future plans in place for a full-time restaurant where we can get your food. Oh, even before the question finishes.
Nope.
I mean, I gotta ask, right? Because your food is delicious, but I get it. You're focusing on the catering.
Yeah, it's I love the pop-ups. I love serving people. I love the catering. But a restaurant is just that I don't well suited for that.
Yeah, it's two totally different animals. I guess with catering, and especially even with smaller parties, you get to do your creative, menu changes from every event to event, I would assume, right?
I get to work with people. Even on the weddings now, we definitely focus on customization. So like, sure, here's the menu, here's our 7-page menu or whatever it is with all the appetizers and all the things. But what do you want? Is there something on there you don't see? Is there something you love? Is there something that you're specifically known for that's going to make your party, all your guests be like, oh my God, that's so you to have this at the party. That's what we want to do. That's always what we try to bring to the table.
So when you're looking at customization, and I guess it's a selfish question, how do you as a chef handle all of the dietary restrictions? Now that I have my own personal, can't eat meat, can't eat dairy. And when you say dairy, once I start looking into what it entails, butter, yogurt, ghee, like it's such a wide range. I'm like, what am I supposed to eat? And how do I enjoy going out to eat, right? So from a chef's perspective, how do you tackle that and still keep it inviting and delicious for so many different dietary restrictions?
Some cuisines are much easier than others to maneuver. Like obviously, Indian's pretty easy. You just change the fat.
Yeah.
You move from ghee to olive oil. And everything else you can easily cook for a year on vegetarian and vegan stuff in Indian. Japanese is pretty similar to that as well because there's no real butter except in the north. It's oil across the board. So that's pretty easy too. And mushrooms are awesome. It is a really good meat substitute. Good feeling, that satisfied chew, depending on if you pick the right mushrooms. And I have a awesome source now, which I found that I could get from last year, which is great. Manitouk mushrooms, they're amazing. The product is off the charts good.
Wow. That's coming from a chef. That's an amazing recommendation.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, so why don't we jump into our NOFO Live 5, Adam? We usually end the show with the top 5 questions we ask everybody. So I'm going to kick it off. And if you were going to take Sunita and I out to lunch or dinner, you can pick.
All right.
Where would you go?
First, it sounds like.
Yeah, or breakfast. Where would you go?
Lunch. Well, are we? Am I not considering the dietary restrictions?
Yeah. Yes, of course, yes.
So lunch, I would probably, if we were going to lunch for the first time, probably go to Latin Fusion because I'm probably guessing that you guys haven't had a shuko.
No,
I haven't had that, but I've had everything else on Vicky's menu, and I love this.
Yes, love Vicky and her menu.
Magic kind of thing, but not really. It's only a hot dog because it's like on a hot dog bun or a big hot dog bun, but it's like chorizo and steak and then cabbage and mayo and just everything kind of, it all works together. It's amazing.
Amazing.
It sounds amazing. I mean, I was eating meat until last year, so I should have eaten it before. But
I'll eat it for us. I'll eat it for us, Sunita.
We'll go get a tasting. I'll watch you enjoy it.
His take on street food from his home, and it's pretty goddamn awesome.
Wait, I missed what you were saying. Which one is this? A different one? Or are you still talking about the hot dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's the street food.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then dinner. I know you've been there, to Little Fish. I love it.
They just started a fixed price menu, people. So if you're local, it's pretty inexpensive. I think it's like 3 courses, right? Yeah. Yeah, and their cocktails are great too. And you can get a side of sunset, assuming you get there at 4:30 now because the sun's.
Right.
I mean, it's 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock right now. So if you go for an early dinner, you could probably catch one. But with the time change coming, get ready.
It's
4:30.
chili time. We could have dinner, chili time dinner.
Okay. I mean, you do a lot of offsite catering, so you're in spectacular places. Do you catch sunrise? Do you catch sunset? What do you catch around here?
Always sunset.
Do you have a secret spot?
He's gonna keep it secret.
Best answer, yes.
Yes. Yes, very good. That was very Adam. That was very Adam.
Loved it. Okay, brewery or vineyard?
Both, depending on what I'm feeling. So brewery, the Eastern Front. I definitely like more European style beers than American. And then
Where are they located?
on
Right on by Love Lane.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right on the south side of the road.
Okay.
And for winery, we definitely spend a lot of time over at Chronicle.
Nice.
Yeah. Ali's great. She makes a lot of wine on the North Fork. In fact, I think she's going to be on in a couple of weeks, months. I don't know, but I know she's on the calendar.
Over the summer, I did a seafood pop up there every other week in conjunction with North Fork Seafood.
Yeah, I just saw Jermaine log on a little earlier. Yes.
And then which was super fun. Got to do some great food. Some of the pictures are actually from there on that reel, that whatever you put together. And then parties, which I think I'm doing coming up. This one they're doing a full meal, I think, pairing. So previously it's been like a little taste with each thing. This is going to be more of a small plate, so a couple bites with each wine.
And where is this happening?
This is right there on Lovely on sorry on.
So it's happening at Chronicle Wines itself.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So on Peconic Lane.
And then starting in 2 weeks, we're doing like a chowder soup pop up there every Monday night or every other Monday night.
Ooh.
I almost said ooh, and then I realized chowder has cream, so I gotta zip it. But it's delicious.
Range for the 2 months. So I'm doing it for the 2 months, and then somebody else maybe pick up after that. But it will be whatever I'm making that week, and then sourdough from 1610 and a wine flight or something like that, or a taste of and a glass of wine.
Ooh, Tracy, we'll go together. You have the chowder, I'll have the bread and the wine.
There we go.
Well, we'll do some teamwork, right? I mean, that's what North Fork collaboration is all about.
Exactly.
Like I said, not everything have cream in it, so
yeah.
Just
good to know. Yeah.
They'll post it. I think they already posted for next week or 2 weeks. It is going to be it's going to be clam chowder the first week because I figured that's apropos. Might as well start with that. And then, like I said, I'm going to go do lots of different things for the 2 months.
Very nice. So, Adam, you already mentioned you mentioned deep roots. You mentioned the Matabello mushrooms, right? Mattatuck mushrooms, excuse me. So what other farm stands are you hitting up when you're cooking?
So I use the only other farm stand I use besides Deep Roots is North Oregon Road Organics.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to, keep it possible, and if I can't get it there, I'll use Wickham's from time to time. Like they're wonderful there to me, and things doesn't have it. It's not local, right. So
fair.
All right, I know.
Well, that's the one thing about living here full time is you slowly start to figure out. I love personally buying from little no-name farm stands because they grow to the backyard and that's all they have. The 20 zucchinis that grew, they put out. I love it. It's great. But it's wonderful to be able to get such a diverse, fresh produce that you just cook seasonally. You don't even realize, but slowly that seeps into your life because now when you buy local, that's it. I haven't eaten Brussels sprouts yet because they're not out yet, but they're coming, right? So Get ready.
The second week of November or so.
I love it.
My menu, actually, from what it used to be before I got there to there's things that I just won't do. And it just says seasonal. Like if I can't get it, I'm not gonna do it. Like it makes there are things that it doesn't matter. Like but there it makes a huge difference. Like I'm not gonna make gazpacho in January. Like I'm just not. Like it's gonna be terrible. If you want gazpacho, it's gonna be in August, September. That's it. That's when I'm making gazpacho. And I'm not serving Brussels until they're in season, and I don't do asparagus, until it's that month and a half window.
I think Adam, you should put together a calendar for us of what is good when, so that we don't get fooled by the farm stands who are putting stuff out that isn't in season. I need that.
Well, but that's why the food also tastes good, right? First of all, you're not taking shortcuts. You're taking the 3-day process of making those beet pickled eggs. And then you're also only cooking what's seasonal. So no wonder anything you put on the plate tastes good.
Yeah, and even just on the flip side of that, in winter when there's nothing, making the broth for pho or for ramen, that's literally 3 days. It literally simmers for 72 hours.
Wow.
Well, wow. I'm glad we have you that we can pick it up in 72 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, for Friday service.
Yes.
When do these pop-ups begin? Do you have a date yet?
January. Well, like I said, there's gonna be a couple in November, and then on to July, to January 1st, to after the New Year.
So, Adam, as we come to the end of our show, it's been great having you on. I've been meaning, every time I drive by, I mean to stop in. I wave at you. You don't see me, but I wave. So tell us why you love being a part of the North Fork community.
Good question.
Your volume cut out again, Adam.
He's thinking.
He's thinking. Oh, I couldn't even hear the word thinking. I just heard some crackling.
Yeah. Good question. I mean, I love it's close. And I mean, at least the people that I spend my time with, we want to bring everybody. So all believe that the rising tide floats all the boats. So if you need help, I'm going to come help you. If I need help, they come help me. And it is a nice, it's the communal that I get within our small little pocket that I dig.
I loved how you used a beachy coastal metaphor to sort of explain or articulate what we all feel on a weekly basis. Is the collaboration and the community that each of us gather around each other that is supportive and encouraging. So that was awesome. Thank you for being on, Adam. I can't personally wait for November pop-ups to begin and come try some of your delicious food. And maybe, Tracy, we'll have to just come up with excuses to throw some events. So we can get some catering.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Adam, for being on. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye.